What's up everyone, welcome back. Today we're playing Atraxa Grand Unifier in Historic Brawl, although this is not your normal Atraxa video. This is Simic Atraxa. As you can tell, all the spells are green or blue. Why? Well, we're doing a deck building challenge. This is, I think, video 4 out of 6. We're doing, for each color combination in Atraxa's 4 colors, so for each guild, you could think of it. So there are 6 guilds if you put them all together and organize them. So there's Slenzia, Azorius, Dimir, Simic, Orzhov, Golgari. And today we're doing Simic Atraxa. So I think we all know what Atraxa does. It's a big Phyrexian Angel, comes down, essentially lets you draw a new hand. The idea of the deck is to play, Simic ramp slash mid-range, I guess you could call it. And once we need more spells in our hand, we can play Atraxa, and then obviously Atraxa can just be a finisher if the opponent can't remove it. But ultimately, it's just a way to refill our hand in the command zone. And like I said, we're doing this as a challenge so that we can build each guild of this, each guild that this card supports. And the way we're doing that mana-wise is, it's mostly blue and green lands, but we do have one basic of each type for, black and white, which we're not playing those cards of, so we only want one of each. But, green has ways of fetching up lands, so we still want the ability to get those lands. And then we're playing a lot of the dual lands, this one being obviously Azorius, but I only included the shock lands, the fetchable shock lands that have one of the colors. So this one has blue, right? And then Overgrown Tomb has green. So even if we fetch them, they're still going to be able to support the cards we actually have in the deck. And then, obviously includes like Command Tower, and we have all the cons fetches in here just to help fetch more lands. But, there's a lot of green ramp spells in here that fetch basics, so this version has a lot more basics than my other versions did. And a little bit more, like maybe 3 or 4 more lands than the other decks did. Otherwise, it's essentially just, the strategy is essentially counter our opponent's stuff in the early game, ramp, get to big stuff, and do broken things with Atraxa. That's the whole strategy. Whether or not we'll be able to do that, we'll find out. What I've said in the other videos is, even though we are neutering ourselves by not using black or white in this deck, the matchmaker does not know that, or chooses not to view that. So we still play in Hell Queue, we still play all the most powerful decks because they think we're playing 4-color good stuff Atraxa. So the challenge is really, can we get a single win in the S tier queue of Historic Brawl, right? We'll see. We'll see. Simic's definitely probably the hardest. I don't know. I feel like of the guilds, it's the hardest one because it has the least amount of removal. But we'll see. If the deck works as constructed, it's very powerful. It's just, will we be able to do that? We'll have to find out. 3 lands, but we're not doing anything for a couple turns. What is this? Adelant? So this is a aggro white deck, so this is not good against them. 3 mulligan. This is at least a creature that ramps us. And we have a counter spell for their commander, which costs 3. That's good. I think we keep. Let's start with the shock land and fix our mana. We have blue and green, so that's good. But let's go get some of our other colors. So we could get... We need double blue, so let's get Watery Grave. And no point in taking the 2 damage from the shock. We already took 1 from the fetch. Okay. Nothing to do on turn 2. Normally I would put stops here so that it would feel like there was stick, But, I mean, I guess we have Heroic Intervention. I didn't really want them to feel like we had stick, so I wanted them to just slam their commander next turn. I think we should... Well, no. That's a little bit too... It's a little bit too much. Let's just do it like this. If they don't play their commander, we can Haro. We have two options. Probably going to want to play their commander. Ooh, well, what's this? It's not their commander. Creatures you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. If an ability of a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, it triggers an additional time. It's pretty good. I think it's worth a counter, especially this counter. We get cost reduction for the spells in our hand, and we just get attacked by a 1/2. Okay. If we go get the Golgari land, we have all of our colors for Atraxa. I think that's worth it. We can... I think we can do a lot of ramping here. So let's just do that. Activate ability. And get a creature down. White. Oh, white's the one we're missing. Oh yeah, we have black. We have black. We need white. So we need that land, right? There isn't a better land to take. Temple Garden. They don't even want to play. Cool. All right. I don't know what to say, but patience is a win con. Kind of surprised to see that deck in Hellq. I didn't think is it Adeline? Adeline? Adeline. I don't know. I didn't think that was an S tier commander. I guess I mean I know it's a very good aggro deck. This is an S tier commander. Simic versus Simic, although they don't know. Hopefully we go first. We go first. No, they get to go first. But we have a counter spell. That's something. We don't have double blue anyway, so it doesn't matter. Midnight Clock. I mean, the ramp is there. We can counter their next thing after Kinnan if we get a blue source. We do have double green for Stomper. I think we could mulligan to a better hand than this. Like, we really want Wash Away or something like that. Again, this deck doesn't have removal because we're in Simic. So it's not like we can let Kinnan come down and then remove it. Like, we kind of have to stop it from coming down. And this deck is a way better Simic deck than ours is. I mean, we could eventually steal Kinnan, which is pretty funny, but... This fixes all our lands. I don't know. I think we're looking for something better than this. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we're going to be able to... Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to fight this deck. I'll just concede. It's, we kind of need... We need to be on the... We either need Wash Away in our hand, or we need to be going first so that we could line up a counterspell. If we line up a counterspell on Kinnan, then the game's wide open, because Kinnan costs 4... and it slows down their whole plan. But if you let Kinnan come down and uninterrupted, it's game over. That is the most broken card in the format. More than any other alchemy card or any of those cards I, complain about all the time. Kinnan is by far... It's so bad, it's the only card I think that should probably be banned in the format. Now, maybe not. Maybe if they keep it exclusively in Hellq, but I tend to play it outside of Hellq a lot too, so I know exactly how that card works, and there's no shame in just understanding that we're not going to be able to beat it. Spell Pierce, Disdainful Stroke. This is a 4-mana commander, right? Yeah, Disdainful Stroke's good. So goblins. So they're... It's an aggro deck. We don't have blue. Oh, we do have blue mana. We get to go first as well. Yeah, I think this is a keeper. It's not perfect, but we have ways of countering their commander, and essentially that's how they win, by getting their commander down. I don't know if Spell Pierce is going to be worth it. Or worth it's the wrong word. If Spell Pierce is going to hit anything is what I'm trying to say. Overgrown Tomb. I don't think on turn 2 there's going to be anything that we need to hold up mana for. So I think we do it like this. We have a lot of counter spells now. This kit creates some blockers eventually, so that's nice, right? 2 2s, and I can make 2 4/4s essentially with that. That's good. We might need that. I think if we ever get Atraxa down against this deck, we're good. So if we just survive to 7 mana, get Atraxa down, I don't think this deck has a lot of ways around that. Now, they may be able to go wider and, like, attack around it. But if we do our part and counter some stuff, I think we're good. Because next turn, we can, hopefully we draw a land, but if we... Oh, good. Okay. Well, I don't need to go over the scenario. If we didn't draw a land, we did. Let's play the land. Let's crack it. Let's go get another blue source and maybe, like, white. Oh, we can't because of the way this fetches. So, blue-black is fine. We'll pay the 2. So now we have some options. This is what I was going to say. So, in the scenario where we did draw a land, which we did... we can hold up Behold and hold up all our counter magic, including Spell Pierce and maybe one of these other ones. And if they don't do anything worth countering, that's okay. We can just Behold the Multiverse. If they do play something we want to counter. So what is this? Sacrifice a creature, exile the top card of your library. So Impulse Draw. Whenever a Goblin or Orc you control deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library. May play. So it's more card draw for them. It's not like the worst thing ever, but let's make them put it back on top of their library. 'Cause that's probably their whole turn. Then they don't progress in their deck any further. We didn't draw a land. That's a bummer. We can Behold now and draw into a land. But we have to hope we draw into a blue source. So I think because Krenko's definitely or probably gonna come down next turn, let's just pass. Yeah. They play it again. Play it again. Is this a goblin? Yeah, of course it is. It's a goblin deck. We're taking 3 a turn now. I think we need to Behold. We're falling behind on lands. So I don't think we can counter that. We want to counter Krenko though. They're going to Impulse Draw here. Fine. They can't play it. You may play that card this turn. So they basically just exile their own Fable, which is perfect. Okay. That wasn't as bad. It wasn't too bad. They could have hit a 2-mana spell that would have really set us back, but they did not. Neither of these are lands, although they're both good spells, and we already have a 4-mana ramp spell in our hands, so let's do it like this. No lands. Sick. Land? Awesome. Okay. So now do we pay the 2? That's important because we're down to 16 facing an aggro deck. Next turn we take 3 damage. Is there any reason we could pay 2 and hold up Midnight? Yeah. Yeah, I think we got to. So this is going to hurt a little, but we can do it like this and have double blue up for counterspell or disdainful stroke. And we get to ramp. The ramp's important because it can get us to Titania's command. Or Titan of Industry, or obviously our commander. Yeah, so that is an easy counter. And we're using that counter because that was the 3 mana Kranko. Impulse draw. Can't play it. Could they do it again? Oh, it has double strike. Oh, that's really good. But I think that all just gets exiled. Great. That is the risk with impulse draw. That is a land, technically. And it's probably not going to hit anything else in their deck, so... let's do it. These come into play tapped. So we'd only have 1 mana, so we wouldn't be able to disdainful stroke. Next turn, we can Titania's command. So yeah, let's just pass through. They're running out of stuff in their hand. This gains us life too, right? Yeah. But only for each creature. Enters the battlefield, create 3. No thanks. So now they get to triple impulse draw, but only for something. They can only play something with 1 mana. I don't think they've drawn or played a land this turn either, so they could play a land. Nope. Down to 6, which is a little scary. Can't play that. Can't play Blood Moon either. That would have been a good one. Let's put another counter on this. Land. Okay, so now we have some options. We don't have triple green. But we could play Atraxa. I mean, what are they going to do against Atraxa? What is red going to do? They have to attack, right? They have to attack me and this gains me life. So that makes the most sense. We don't even have... I didn't even realize we don't have double green for Titania's command. So I think this is our only play, right? I mean, it's pretty good. They only have 2 creatures. We need more green, so we'll take the green. We'll take the End of the North. That's the sorcery. Now we're looking at instants. We'll take this enchantment. It's the only enchantment, and we'll take... what? Absorb energy? Sure. Discard a card. Well, I think Spell Pierce is probably the worst card in our hand. They might attack first. No, they don't. I thought they might try to look at more stuff. Okay, well... so we gain 14 life here? Is that right? No, just 7. That hits 3 or... oh, it got lightning bolt. So that, yeah, that, I mean, we would have been dead if... yep, 3 in my face. Yep. Okay, so this is where we hopefully turn the game around. We gotta play this forest. Okay. Now we have some options. We can put 2 4/4s down and put 2 +1/+1 counters on Atraxa, and we'd have a 9/9 and 2 4/4s. We can't do Titan of Industry yet. How many mana do we have left over if we do this? 2? Not enough for absorb energy. Or anything else, really. But I mean, how are they going to get through that? This creates a bunch of goblins, but how are they going to deal with me gaining 9 life a turn? I think this is the way. Yeah. I wish I had another land down so I could hold up Absorb Energy or play Rhystic Study or something like that, but I think this does it. Atraxa has Vigilance, so we can attack in and still have it as a blocker. Yep. Gain 9. Now we're way outside of death range, quote unquote. Especially for mono red. They can make a bunch of goblins, that's fine. Make a treasure. They can sack a creature to draw a card, or impulse draw, rather. They have, you know, they have 6 mana. I think you gotta find an answer for the 9/9. Yeah, land ain't it. Oh, brutal. 2 lands. I mean, I have lethal if you keep sacking your creatures. Okay. Just checking. Tick up. Yeah. I was gonna say, I think we try to get to Titan or something like that. We keep attacking in. I mean, we're 2 swings away from killing them. In fact, I think we just attack all. 9, 8, so that's 17. Yeah, so we have lethal. So they'd have to block if we attacked all here. So 2 of their creatures would die. They'd be left with only Krenko. We would do 9 damage to them, gain 9. I mean, that's the minimum we would do, and then we would play, like, you know, Titan of Industry behind it, make another 4/4, maybe gain life or something. Yeah. And then if we, I don't know, if we couldn't kill them, they found some way out of this, we would just be able to get Midnight Clock going. Draw some fresh cards. Cool. Krenko. Well, the deck's doing pretty well so far. I did say when I played 4-color Atraxa that I thought the way to build this deck would be like a Simic base with like white and black spells splashed in it. The reason being is that the, you know, Simic allows you to ramp, and the, you know, the blue spells allow you to counter people's stuff, because oftentimes, you know, white or black removal, which can be great, it allows the creatures to enter the battlefield, and like, let's say you're playing Rusko or something, it's much better to counter it on the stack than allow it to come down. They get to make their Midnight Clock, right? So sometimes in you know, Hellq, it doesn't even matter if you kill the thing, you know, oh god, we're doing the mirror. It doesn't matter if you kill the thing. If you let it enter the battlefield, sometimes that's too much value already. So I think blue being able to counter stuff on the stack is a huge advantage. So I thought the Simic base, or the foundation for Atraxa, would be good, but this is kind of proving that it's probably a good idea. It was just a theory at the time, but this is doing pretty well. We'll see how we do against the actual Atraxa deck. So we have a counter for their Atraxa. We have 2 counters for their Atraxa. We have a way to get both our colors, 3 lands, and a Celestis. Is that doing it? I don't know. The counter spells are good. I just did a huge, you know, little spiel about how counter spells are good. This is a little far away though. They get to go first too. Ugh. We don't have double blue yet, although I guess we could get it, but we really don't want to get it. Good game, they say. Your go. Okay. We'll try this. I mean, I think if we have any chance, it's by countering their spells. They're gonna mana fix for the first couple turns anyway. We have 4 lands. This Celestis can be our blue source, so why don't we just fetch our green source now? I know we don't have like something to play yet, but we'll draw stuff that most likely will need a single green. So we'll just spend our first turn mana fixing as well. The 2 colorless lands in the beginning of the game are pretty awkward. But the Celestis color fixes, so there you go. There's a spell that requires green. Is it instant? Yeah, it is. Maybe we'll do that instead. Sacrifice a land, search for 2 basics. Celestis is probably better than that. Unless we draw another blue. If we draw another blue, then we'll hold up Entis Restoration. So that we can hold up Absorb Energy at the same time. But barring that, I think we just play the Celestis. They're just ramping and mana fixing, so we're under no pressure. They're just trying to get to Atraxa. Their whole hand is probably ramp. So if that's the case, and we end up countering their Atraxa, it's pretty good. Okay. We didn't draw a blue source. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think they can play Atraxa next turn, right? I don't think there's anything that exists that would allow them to play that next turn. But the turn after that, we gotta hold up counter magic. So this turn we can go ahead and get our Celestis down. They might have a Spell Pierce, which would be awkward. Not the end of the world, but definitely would be a bummer. They're either thinking or they've fallen asleep at their computer. Welp. Oh, there you go. Okay. I imagine they're just going to continue to ramp. I mean, they have 5 mana, so they could play something. I mean, there are a lot of good 5 mana spells. But I don't think they're gonna... What does that do? I've never seen that before. Okay. Ethereal Absolution. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Creatures your opponents control get -1/-1. Exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. If it was a creature card, you create a 1/1. Okay. Alright. That's fine. That doesn't really affect us that much. Field of Ruin. So I think what we do here... We don't want to be too obvious that we're just holding up counter magic, right? Next turn they're going to want to Atraxa. So I think what we do is we Entis Restoration and ramp. Yes, okay. We can sack the Forest to go get 2 green, I guess. Green, green. And so now it doesn't look... Now it doesn't look incredibly obvious that we have a counter spell. So if they play Atraxa... Well... You can make me reveal my hand, that's for sure. But they might just go to chapter... Oh, we could counter that ability. That's pretty good. And then we hold up Absorb Energy. Okay, so here's the real question. Do we just Cyclonic Rift them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then they're down to 4 lands? Isn't that GG? Yeah, I think that's GG. We can take another turn first. Active negation. Okay. Well, that's fine. They're tapped out, so they're still not doing anything. They can go search their library for whatever card they want, but they're not going to search probably for a land. So I think they're still going to be on 4 lands. They can't play Atraxa. Okay, so they do play a land. They foretell something. Sure. Let's loot. Wallbreaker Horror is pretty nice. Yeah. I don't think that's the right card for this matchup. Midnight Clock? Okay. I should have probably just done this last turn, but... That's fine. Mm-hmm. Take action. Probably you. Time Warp. Do you have another free counter spell? Think so. Okay, wait. We need a mana fix. Okay, so we have blue, green, obviously. And then we have 1 mana of any color. So it doesn't matter which one we get, but we gotta get 1. So... how about we get blue... no, that doesn't work. Okay, we don't... I would like more blue, but I guess this is it. Pay 2. So now we can Atraxa. Can we Atraxa and hold up Absorb Energy? No. We can Hullbreaker Horror them at the end of their turn. We can cast Atraxa. We can Absorb Energy. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a creature or planeswalker. Okay. Part of me just wants to pass and see what they do. Yeah. Take action. It's always good to loot. I kind of like the spells in my hand. Too bad we can't play this at flash speed. That'd be cool. That's your turn. Sure. Pass. Anything we can do down here? We can Field of Ruin something. Do they only have... they have a bunch of black. They only have one... no, they have everything. They have double white, double blue, double green. Yeah. Field of Ruin doesn't really do anything. But might as well do it. Let's get rid of some of their blue mana. think this is the only color we're missing for Atraxa. Take action. Yeah, don't want to shuffle away Hullbreaker Horror. Shia, pretty good. Okay, Atraxa. All right. This is a sorcery. Land. Well, I guess we can just take a blue source. We don't need to do all that. We can take this as the creature. This is the enchantment. This is an artifact. And negate. Yep. Play the island. We could play Asfertol, which is pretty good, but I think we just wait. Negate's pretty good. They can definitely play Atraxa, which is what they should probably do. Dude, you can see the negate. It's... Unless you have a counter, I don't understand why you're doing this. Yeah. That's their turn. Cool. Land. We should definitely play Magic Mirror. Okay. We can play Titan of Industry and blow up their Ornithopter. But let's attack first. They might just block. So we don't have to waste it on that. They don't. Do we still have triple blue? We do. Titan. Destroy target artifact. Put a shield counter? Nah. Tap it for mana. Black. Adapt. Gotcha. Cool. Magic Mirror. I think you have to play Atraxa, opponent. You have 18, right? 18 damage coming at your face next turn. Either you got to remove some of my stuff or you got to play your stuff. Like, I don't think that Orzhov enchantment, this one right here, is gonna do the trick. So, I don't know what your other 4 cards are or what this Foretold card is, but I have a feeling the Foretold card is a counterspell. And these ones, I don't know. But they are really thinking about this decision. To me, it's kind of a no-brainer. Play Atraxa. Like, let's pretend these spells don't... They're like ramp spells or something that's not going to affect the board. Play your 7/7 Atraxa. We at least have both of an Atraxa. You have a blocker that'll gain you life. If I attack all, which is a high possibility, considering the board right now. And you have 13 life. So, you can gain 7 life, get back up to 20. We both lose our Atraxa, potentially. Right? I mean, and you get to refill your hand with maybe some answers for what's going on here. But they're really thinking about it. I don't know any card that you could have in your hand that would be better at affecting this board than your actual commander, which you haven't played once. So, I'm not sure why this decision's taking them so long, but... They kind of have seemed salty the entire time, even before I accepted my opening hand. They were already, like, emoting me, so... I don't know. Maybe they're having a bad night. Okay, they salty roped me. Well, we just beat one of the best decks in the entire format. Like the actual 4-color version of our deck with a meme deck made out of only Simic cards. So, if that doesn't like put the cherry on top of this video, I don't know what will. Wow. But I'm telling you, like, this situation wasn't as bad for them as it looked, you know? Oh, there it is. They had an extra turn spell. You could have cast your extra turn spell. What are you doing? You had a ton of options. So this person is letting their saltiness cloud their judgment. They had at least 2 things they could have done that would have been really good against us. So this is what they should have done. We're tapped out except for a Golgari land. So we don't have a counter spell. We might have a free counter spell, but they're going to have to take that risk. So they should Allrun's Epiphany. They'll create 2 birds, which will be blockers. Take an extra turn, draw another card, then evaluate their hand. If they still don't have an answer for this, like a board wipe or a mass bounce or something like that, just play Atraxa, refill your hand, and you have 2 flyers, 2 1/1 flyers, plus a 7/7 lifelinking, death touching flyer. And then this is like, no longer can I just attack all you, right? So that, just from what we can see, would have been a totally valid way to combat what we're doing. So I don't really understand why they left, but you know, fine with me. All right, let's do a deck review. Decks. So yeah, the deck performed really well. We didn't, you know, except for the last game, I don't feel like we played like top tier Hellq decks. I mean, Krenko's good, Adeline's good, but they're just good, you know? So I didn't like play, you know, Rusko, Ragavan, Sithis, Atraxa or something like that. That's what you kind of expect in Hellq, those decks, all the top 10, top 15 decks. But we did play against Atraxa in that last game, and I think we showed that this deck can still hold its own even against a, you know, very well ironed out staple, you know, deck. So I mean, I don't know what Atraxa is right now on the or the rankings. I think it's in the top, as far as like how much it's played, not how many wins it gets, but how much it's played. I believe it's in the top 7. So it's a, you know, as far as like how many people are playing it, it's a top 7 deck. I don't ever look up wins. I don't think I've ever done that, but I mean, I guess I'd be curious just to know. But you know, we essentially beat one of the top 7 played decks in the you know, format, and then not only that, but in the, you know, top echelon of that format. We didn't get to do some of the cool things that the deck is designed to do. Obviously, we saw how much, you know, we can ramp and make mana. Again, you know, Simic is really bad at removing things, but Simic is good at sort of exploding out in front of your opponent, and then they can never catch up, and then you can start stealing their stuff or playing all your stuff for free. You know, once we get into like the 10 mana plus realm of the deck, it starts to get really broken. It's a little bit of a fight to get to that point, which I think we saw, right? A lot of my early game decisions were like, okay, holding up mana to counter stuff, or can I have enough mana to like ramp a little and counter something, right? So you kind of like play that game for the first, you know, couple turns until you get to your 7 mana, essentially until you get to Atraxa mana, and hopefully by then you've mana fixed and gotten all 4 colors. And then you kind of make a decision, like, do I have a 7 mana bomb in my hand? Like, do I have a Nyx Bloom Ancient or a Titan of Industry, or should I just play Atraxa, right? There's not a lot of cards in the game that are better than this card, so it's nice having it in the command zone available all the time. So you don't got something better to do, just play Atraxa. And then you refill your hand, and then you have a bunch of, you know, solutions, you know, more ramp cards, more counter spells. And then, like I said, if you get to 10 or more mana, which we never really got to do, because people just, we either beat them early enough or they scooped like the last opponent, you know, you start getting your magic mirrors out and your omniscience and virtue of strengths and all that kind of stuff. And then that's when the deck gets just silly. So yeah, I noticed I didn't put Uro in the deck. Uro should probably definitely be in this deck. It's just an oversight. There's a lot of good Simic cards. It's kind of hard to, especially in a meme deck, for lack of a better way of putting it, deck building challenge. It's kind of hard to like think critically about what should actually be in it, because it's like I'm making a new one of these every day and they're different colors each time, so it's kind of hard to, you know, think about it critically, and that's not the point of this video. We're not making like a super optimal deck. So I just want to say, like, there are definitely green and blue cards that are good that are not in this deck, and they're just oversights, or I cut them because, you know, I just feel like these cards were better or more synergistic or whatever, you know. Like certain decisions, like the Magic Mirror gets cost reduced by the amount of instants and sorceries, so I might have put more instants and sorceries in just to make this card better. And you saw that when we drew it, it only cost 3 mana. So, you know, all of our little ramp spells are instants and sorceries usually, right? So it's synergistic with our other cards. So those are just things I think about when I build the deck. If you're wondering why like some blue or green staple isn't in here, those are just decisions I made. But I think in general, if you want to build a deck like this, even if it's not Atraxa, like you're trying to build a Simic deck, as long as you have a lot, you know, a good amount of counter spells. I think there's 12 in this deck. You'd have to count them, but there's a good amount. At least a 10th of the deck is counter spells, and then another 10th of the deck is ramp. At least maybe even like 15 cards is a ramp, and then you have all your bombs. I think that's kind of the way you build a Simic deck in this format. You just like stop what the opponent's doing while simultaneously ramp yourself, and then you have so much mana that you can just drop all these bombs, and it's impossible for the opponent to overcome. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this kind of content, subscribe. If, you know, if you haven't already, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you liked, didn't like about the game. Games, I guess I should say. And then do all that YouTube stuff, you know, like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel grow. We're past 500 subscribers, so I'm officially a YouTuber now. Feels weird, but I appreciate all the people who comment all the time. And I really appreciate when people say that they, you know, they like what I'm doing, even if I make lots of mistakes and misplays and I take too long with my turns. You know, I don't mind the criticism as long as it's all in like good fun, right? So when people comment down below and they're like, man, you take too long, but I love your videos, I love those comments. Like, those make my day. So thank you to all those people who interact with me. It's been super fun. I'm hoping to keep it going. So if you're new to the channel and you liked this, please subscribe, like I said, so that, you know, we keep the ball rolling in the right direction. Next up for this series, we have, what are the two we have left? We have Silencia, so we have green, white, and we have Golgari. Those are the two left. I've done all the other colors. Silencia will be a weird one. I don't even know what to put in that deck, but Golgari will be fun. I'm looking forward to Golgari. But yeah, looking forward to those two decks. Subscribe, stay tuned, do the bell icon, all that stuff. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. See you guys in the next one. Later.